This Black American versus African argument or African versus Black American argument is like a self-eating snake trying to fight itself and asking who's won. It's as if we are trying to fight ourselves in a mirror, trying to see who outfights each other when we're the same person. Do we know that we share the same ancestry, even if we are native to this land? We're fighting ourselves when we have these stupid arguments.
Yo guys, it's your boy Iano Shoke. I just want to appreciate you guys for the support you're showing my channel. In case you are tuning in for the first time, just consider subscribing. So guys, there is story that I want to talk about African American and African arguments. In recent times, we've seen that these two parties have been arguments for about a long time now, and Africans have come out clearly to speak about this story, and also the Black Americans, the African Americans, are also come out to argue or to speak about this story. So the main argument say that they are calling all the two parties to unite, and they are saying that white supremacy is a poison that they want to kill this the two unity between the African American and the Africans. So these arguments have been going on, and today I just want to talk about the arguments around people talking about the arguments around the two parties, which is African Americans and Africans. So guys, the whole scenario, the stories about the arguments. So
I see online Africans are fighting with African Americans because African Americans are saying that Africans don't understand them because Africans keep saying, come back to Africa, and or they're not sympathetic to their culture, and they're not sympathetic, or they don't understand why they call themselves black. Well, I think my African brothers and sisters, before you come to America, you should do some deep research, some deep studying on the African American culture to understand us before you come here, That way, there's a good understanding and there's less friction between the two different cultures. You have to understand that slavery, our ancestors went through slavery, chattel slavery, which put us as 3/5 of a human being within the Constitution of the United States in order to sell us like animals, then beat us, hang us, and take our lives, our ancestors' lives. And you have to understand that, our ancestors, went through the Jim Crow laws. They went through the civil rights movement. And we today, as African Americans, we still go through systematic racism against black people. We deal with a lot. And a lot of times, even other minority groups turn their back on us, even when we fight for them. When it's time to fight for us, they turn their back on us. So it's a lot that African Americans go through. So I would say before you come over to America, that you just do some deep studying so that you can understand the culture of African Americans. And that way, the friction between African Americans and Africans will be less. Peace out, man. Peace and blessings.
Do you know who I blame for this whole stupid Tyler situation that's going on again, where Black Americans and as well South Africans? I blame white people's forefathers. I blame the restless ass colonizers that couldn't leave people alone. Think about it, because tell me why. No, honestly speaking, I mean, to an extent, I do blame some Black Americans, because some of you are just choosing to be ignorant and just plain out disrespectful at this point. Yes, we understand that being called colored in your country means something else. But then again, that doesn't neglect the fact that being called colored in another person's country also means something else. Not necessarily something disrespectful towards your society, but then again, it is what it is, right? So tell me why it's literally like make sense. Think about it. I blame the colonizers for this. Think about it. How many times have you seen a white European or a white person living in the diaspora argue on this app and on any other social media platforms, argue with a white African? Why? Because there is really nothing to argue about. Literally nothing. There's really nothing to argue about. So I blame the colonizers for this stupid back and forth that's going on.
There seems to be a really big diaspora war going on currently with the Black Americans versus the rest of the world. And I'm listening to both sides, and it feels as though no one's listening to each other, and that's the biggest issue right now. There's ignorance on both sides, and people are looking at Black Americans saying, you're to act like a typical American, but it's like, are you guys not listening to what some of your people are saying about us? And I gotta look at us and like, are you not listening to what you're saying about other people? It's both. needs to just stop. What people are ignoring is the fact that as a black American, I have heard black British people, African people from that are black, etc., who are asking, what is your culture? What is your language? What is this? What is that? Where are you from? If you say you're from somewhere in America, then you're not, da, da, da. And it's like, do you not realize that some of us have been in this country, in America, the United States, for 400, 300 years? My connection is not towards any insert country in Africa. It is here in a city or a state in the United States. Just because you're able to connect your roots to some other place doesn't mean that I'm able to. And as a black American, I'm not able to. And if I do, I still don't have a connection to this person who is an 8th, 20th, 3,000th of a cousin to me over in insert a random country that I might be from. But that doesn't take away my blackness. That doesn't take away that I have a culture in the United States. That doesn't take away we have a particular language. And when you ask language, first of all, some of you guys speak English. Some of you guys speak the language of your colonizer. But you want to get upset the fact that we don't have a language and say we don't have a culture. So there's that. There are people who come to this country and tell us that you guys are not good enough because we are Americanized. Meanwhile, you're coming to this country for a particular reason. And then you degrade black Americans because of the fact that we are living in America. But you're leaving your black country for a particular reason. And I'm going to pause that and move on to, just because someone's from a black country in Africa or in the Caribbeans doesn't make us better or worse. And also, if you're from a black country in the Caribbean, you are no different than I am, and who's in America, you just dropped off before us. But also, at the same token, you guys, why are you calling us cargo? See, that's what you guys are ignoring. You're ignoring the fact that you guys are dissing and insulting us. You see, like how it's back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Needless to say, just because there are black people in America who are just now realizing that there are black Scottish people, doesn't mean that we didn't not realize that. It's the fact that you guys were not shown at all in the media at all, and then we're just now seeing the 2%. And we're excited to see it, and then we're interacting with them. Not all black Americans think that we're the center of the world. Like, you can look at my video about Tyler. I'm defending that chick. Just this oversimplification, overgeneralization of a group of people from insert this country, insert that country, insert this place, insert that place, and you guys are running with the most outrageous takes and saying that makes up for everyone. And it's like, that does not. And it's just an issue that the fact that you don't see this with any other group of people. But for some reason, blacks and insert this country, insert that country, insert this nation, insert that nation, are going against each other. And it's like, let's just stop, listen, and understand, as opposed to judging, critiquing, and giving our opinion on people when we don't have zero education about them at all. Simple as that. Let's learn from each other instead of judging each other in the war.
This Black American versus African argument, or African versus Black American argument, is like a self-eating snake trying to fight itself and asking who's won. It's as if we are trying to fight ourselves in a mirror, trying to see who outfights each other when we're the same person. Do we know that we share the same ancestry, even if we are native to this land? We're fighting ourselves when we have these stupid arguments. We can trace music back to before, during, and after the slave trade and see that music came from the same foundation. Our music, no matter from what continent it comes from, has the same root. The root is prime. We share a root and y'all want to argue about it. Why? Our music comes from the same foundation. It comes from the same root. So there is no better. We are the best. All of us. We are just top notch. How are you arguing about coming from the same roots?
Adopt a Brother movement is here for me and you as Africans. Africans of goodwill. Africans that know their history very well. African that have consciousness, have woken up in the consciousness that we need to know what's right and what's wrong. Adopt a Brother movement is to right those wrongs. Me, as a holder, I'm still holding on the ancestral land that was passed on to me by my father. I therefore have the ability to share with a brother who is coming from diaspora, who want to settle in the village, because African men first have a village home before they own a house in town. Ask any African from any corner of the world, they'll tell you that. So, I'm recruiting any African from all the countries in Africa to come on board, and let's share what we have left, what was left by ancestors, to the offspring of the ancestors who are taken away from us, so that Africa can begin to live. Adopt a brother. It's not a charitable thing. It's the right thing. Adopt a brother. It's the truth. Only the truth can set us free. Please adopt a brother. Join my train so that we can heal Africa.
I don't know what's brewing here in America, but I do feel like something is brewing. I was just watching a sister's video, and she was saying the division amongst African Americans and continental Africans. And it's just really bad. Like, the brothers over there born on the continent of Africa look at us as lazy, gangster, good-for-nothing niggas. And when I was young, we looked at them that lived on the continent of Africa as African booty scratchers. Yeah, it's funny, but it's not funny, because as you get older, you realize, wait a minute, I have nothing but African blood flowing through me. And yes, Africans were the first people who touched this continent, North America, but that doesn't mean that all of us were already here. And that doesn't take away from the transatlantic slave trade. I think right now we need to bring us African and African Americans together.
Learn when to shut the fuck up sometimes. Stop falling for the trap. The African versus Black American beef is fake and it's funded, and it's nowhere in real life. What's actually happening is we're being attacked by white people, white supremacists that run the state. We are being attacked by the American government. We're being attacked by European nations, and we're being divided by the people they're paying online. A lot of them look like us, sellout ass Negroes that are getting online and telling us that our beef is with other people that look like us and other people of color that may not look like us but are not white. And they are selling us this so that we will not rise up against the mayonnaise Martians who actually enslaved us, who actually mass incarcerate us, who actually are pushing us out of jobs, who actually are taking our opportunities, who actually are colonizing black nations. The sellouts and the raccoons of social media are trying to sell us propaganda that we should be fighting other marginalized groups of people instead of fighting the people who are actually fighting us.
It's no news that Black Americans and Africans have been having a huge fight on TikTok, and I don't even know why they are fighting. Black Americans, you guys see Africans as, like the racist will see black people, like racist white people will see black people, forgetting that there is a reason why you're called African Americans. There is no difference between blacks, whether you're from Africa, whether you're from America. Our skin is black. I don't know why people are coming on social media to make a big deal. Why would you laugh at Africans and say they don't have food? Like, it's like you didn't go to school. Why would you say Africans are dirty, they don't drink, or they don't have good clean water? Like, it's like you're retarded or something. Africans, why would you guys think that Black Americans are lazy? Why would you guys think that they are not hardworking people? Why are you guys fighting? There is no need for this banter. Basically, what you guys need to do is come together and work as one. Americans, Black Americans are leaving America to Ghana to, establish. Like, they are looking for their roots. They are finding their roots. Even their celebrities, they are finding their roots. So what is all this issue? Why are we so angry at each other? Why are we giving the chance for anger to fester? We are all one people. Now, the only thing is your ancestors, Black Americans, worked as slaves. You people think that our own ancestors did not suffer when they were left in Africa? They had to fight wars for the colonial masters. All of us have suffered. Our ancestors have suffered. So it's not like someone's suffering is bigger than the other. Suffering is suffering. As long as there's pain, there's blood, there's tears, we all suffered. Why don't we put aside these differences and just work together as black people? Why? Please.
So guys, there's a certain heated debate between African Americans and Africans from the motherland. And as a Kenyan, I have to join in this argument. I don't want to be left out. So as I was going through the videos, certain guy caught my attention. The guy was saying that Africans import cassava from the US or from America. Then I was like, am I from a different part of Africa? Or, nigga, I don't even remember the last time I ate cassava. Maybe when I was a kid. Leave that alone. The last time I read, which is not last year, it's not last month, this month, you combine both South America and North America, they're both Americans, they only produce a total of 20% of world cassava, something like that. Africa produces close to 50% of the cassava, total cassava in the world. Then I'm like, how is that mathing like? And I'll still have to ask this question. Do we have schools for black Americans in America? Really?
Am I missing something? I'm seeing Nigerians go, and I'm specifically saying Nigerians because that's the only flags that I'm seeing pop up on my timeline, and they're beefing with us. And when I mean us, I mean African Americans. My thing is, I feel like, can I voice my opinion or should I just shut up? Y'all help me out. Chat, help me out. Because I really want to say what's on my mind. I really want to say what's on my chest. Because in reality, I'm going to wait till y'all's response.
To my African and African Americans who are on this particular app fighting each other, I need y'all to use that brain cell that God gave you. Like, use it. Use it, please. Okay? Do you know how silly, well, all of y'all sound, whether it's an African side or African American, like, you'll sound like you're missing some brain cells fighting each other. It don't make no sense. I bet you there's looking at you like, look at them. Yeah, they're winning. Silly gooses.
What do you think caused the conflict between Africans and African Americans? I'll go first. It started in the beginning of the 90s, when TV was finally exposed in Africa. I remember at that time, when Africans first getting introduced to TV, what we were seeing back in Africa was movie like Eddie Murphy or jazz. Jazz was big at that time. So we all in Africa would see black people, singing, dancing in movies. So we thought that black people in America made it, like made it. And meanwhile in America, you were shown some jungle, people walking around with no clothes. So you thought that this was Africa for you. Not to be rude, the first African that ever came here and was called African Booty Scratchers. I was like, who the fuck are you talking to? Since then, this stupid war just...
Africans are extremely entitled, especially when it comes to appearances. I've been hearing this dialogue about how Black Americans look like Africans, and that is, it's just simply not true. But Africans, they work on a level of superiority to Black Americans, so they think that because they're the original or they come first, that everyone then looks like them, not realizing, if you open a book and understand history, that Black Americans, through over years and years of slavery, chattel slavery in America, that their genealogy and their DNA is mixed, even if they come off all black. It's mixed because of slavery. So the features and the phenotypes of the way black Americans are going to look is absolutely different, and you absolutely can't tell. Like for me, for instance, I'm first generation black American. My mother is full 100% Zimbabwean. All of my lineage on my mother's side is straight out of Zimbabwe, and on my dad's side, he's Trinidadian, born in Port of Spain. His father is Indian, from India, and my grandmother is Venezuelan. He was born in Trinidad. So like I'm a mix. I'm very much so a mix, and I'm the first of my family to be born in America. Do I feel like I look black American? In my mind, I would love to say that I feel like I look black American, but in reality, I look like a mix of my family, because I don't have any roots in America at all. Never have. My family will be more, American, depending on who I decide to mix with. But besides the point, I think it's very presumptuous for this argument to go on. And then I'm also seeing a lot of Africans say that black Americans like to, make themselves the victim, and we use being black American the same way Jewish people use anti-Semitism to fight their fight. And it's just like, first of all, black Americans would have to have roots systematically in order to make that argument make sense. The way Jewish people have ties systematically in the American government makes their anti-Semitism argument hit harder. That's why they were able to remove Kanye from his places and do a lot of things to people when they speak negatively in the media about Jewish people. Black Americans don't have that same type of pull, and they haven't. And honestly, I don't think that they ever will, because of black Africans who come online and say stupid shit like that. You don't know the history. The reason why you can navigate the states the way you do is because of black Americans. It's because of what black Americans have done that you niggas from Africa can come over and feel like you even have a leg to stand on in this argument, when you really should just be shutting the fuck up. Because they made a way for you. They make a way for me to be able to, my mom immigrating from Zimbabwe to come here when she was 18 and to have the life that she has had. My father immigrating from Trinidad to come here and have the life that he has now is because black Americans have sacrificed so much and are still sacrificing so much. So these takes about black Americans trying to play the victim card is crazy. It's crazy because media doesn't really give a flying fuck. That's why black Americans keep having to be so loud and proud about what they say and standing on 10 toes when they say they don't look like Africans. I can very obviously tell an African straight from Africa, right off the plane, fresh from Africa, versus a black American. And if you are so naive to think that that's not true, you're playing yourself. You're fucking playing yourself, and you're delusional as fuck. And you need to read a fucking book before you get online flapping those big ass lips of yours, talking nonsense, honestly.
Black people and Africans don't even look the same. I mean, look at black Americans and then look at people from West Africa. You can clearly see that we're different.
Without his accent, I can say it fits a description of Oluwasegun Babajide Oluwadamilare Segun Olawomi. He has, even without that, it fits the description of Ikenna Nnamdi. Name it. You have the fixtures of West Africans, bro. Like, even Zimbabweans. Let's just leave West African out of you. It's all these things needs to stop. The reason why I say it needs to stop, the reason is his brother. This brother is South African, but he would never deny his European heritage. There's no way he would deny his European heritage. And furthermore, there's so many things I also want to extend on this, on why this argument is so stupid. You see, this guy is known as a world best footballer. He was not born and raised in Spain, but he has a Spanish passport. Not because of how long he spent there based on residence, but because of his ancestry heritage. He uses ancestry bloodline to get himself Spanish passport right from an early age. When he got from Spain, from Argentina, all the way to Barcelona, he had a Spanish passport. Everything was all done for him. Same thing goes for this man here. He played for Portugal, but he was not born and raised in Portugal. He was born and raised in Brazil. Same thing goes for our favorite Arsenal player, who's no longer an Arsenal player, now going to Brazil not to go play. He was born and raised in Brazil, but he played for Italy. How? Because of ancestors. So if these people don't forget their ancestors, why do we have to feel like we're not the same? Why do we have to be different? Why do we always have to make problems when there's actually no problem at all? There's so many footballers who have European passports, but they were not born and raised here. Their parents were not born here. Their grandparents were not born here. But because of their great-great-great-great-great-grandparents, 400-500 years ago, they gained British passport. They gained Italian passport. They gained Spanish passport. They gained Portuguese passport because of their great-great-great-great-great-grandparents. I understand. Yes, that there might be this guy from Mali, might not be the person to discover America first. Yes, there's that part. But we look alike. We are brothers. In one way or the other, if we don't stop this hatred towards West African or East African, we're never going to progress in life. It's high time we love ourselves and embrace who we are. That's all.